Welcome to another inspiring episode of Sacred Harmony, where today we delve into one of the most transformative conversations of our time, the evolving relationship between mental health and artificial intelligence. Joining us is Ali Yilmaz, an engineer turned mental health innovator, whose personal journey from loneliness and quiet burnout to creating Ali therapy has shaped how thousands access emotional support. Ali brings a rare blend of empathy, innovation, and lived experience, making him the part guide for this discussion on how AI can uplift the human mind rather than overwhelm it. Welcome to the show, Ali. It's such an honor to have you.
Thank you, Anya. I'm very happy to be here.
Mhm. So, Ali, your journey into mental health began with some deeply personal experiences. How did those early struggles shape your understanding of what support should truly feel like?
So, like as you said, I was an engineer, and I was working as an engineer from a very quite like a young age. I started working around 18, and after like 2021, I started working as a product manager, which required like a lot of decision making, a lot of talking, a lot of responsibility. And when I was around 23, 24, I was already working as a senior product manager, and there were a lot of responsibility on me, on what I do. And I was working with a lot of great engineers and designers. So I had a very big self doubt and kind of like an imposter syndrome. So, and that also caused a lot of anxiety. And when I realized I need mental health support is exactly around these moments, because in my life I realized that okay, I am doing my dream job in a very good firm. I am good uh, in the paper. I'm good almost everywhere all my life in the paper. I was doing my master's in computer engineering at that time. But what makes me unhappy in the life was the anxiety, self doubt, and this also caused depression. So when I look for any kind of mental health support, the first thing that came to my mind was obviously therapy. Like, can I get therapy? Or like, what is the fastest way to get therapy? Or what is the easiest way to get therapy? And I'm Turkish. I lived in Turkey for 22 years and I moved to United States. And I wasn't very familiar with the system in United States, like how therapy works, how the billing works. Okay, I have insurance, but how does it work? Do I have to pay anything? It was like a very complicated field. So I started looking for it. The very first things was always like the online options, like very big names I checked, and I quickly realized that even though I had an insurance and I had a pretty good insurance in the United States, even with that insurance, most of the therapists I can find online is not accepting my insurance. Even though if they accept, it's still a considerable amount of money and not very easy to schedule the first meeting or not very easy to fit that into my life. And I never been to therapy before, so I didn't have any idea what I am gonna get from it. So that's the frustrating part started. That's how the frustrating part started. Because I know I need some kind of mental health support. I know things are happening in my mind, need some I need some help with them, but I don't have an easy, fast, or a reliable way to find support. So that was the moment that I realized, okay, this is just this can that can be a better way. And I started kind of looking for what actually therapy is. So like I was thinking, okay, if this is that much expensive and that is hard to find, like what is happening behind that door? What is happening when I went into therapy and sit across to a therapist? What does he do that is helping me? That's so expensive, so rare to find. That's how I actually found cognitive behavioral therapy too. Yeah, that is basically the story of the frustration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Let me keep talking like about that, or I just don't want to talk too much at one time.
yeah. But looking back, was there a particular moment when you realized traditional therapy wasn't meeting your needs?
It didn't meet my needs because I never get to it. Like I was not able to get it in the first session. So we can say yes.
Yeah. And that honesty underscores how universal these struggles are, even among those who seem to be thriving externally.
Yeah.
And AI therapy blends structured CBT principles with constant emotional availability. What do you believe AI can offer that traditional therapies sometimes can't?
Mhm. So the point of AI therapy is exactly coming from like the strength of AI therapy is exactly coming from the cognitive behavioral therapy. When I couldn't find the therapist to go, I just started to read, start to explore what therapy is. And when I found cognitive behavioral therapy, the very first thing uh, that is like very obvious for CBT is that how static it is. It's a static, more formulaic method to help you break your negative thinking, which is causing the anxiety, which is causing the self-doubt and depression. So I was lucky enough that I was already working in AI, and then I started to search about computerized CBT. There is something called computerized CBT that, thanks to cognitive behavioral therapy's static nature, computers are actually able to apply as a self-help, apply CBT as a self-help to people. It can be like a self-help coach with them. And it's already like it's been used for the last 15, 20 years. It's not a new thing. But then I was thinking as I learned the CBT, I realized that the many things that CBT helps me solve for myself doesn't need empathy, doesn't need a human being there. Of course, AI is not going to give you the empathy that a human is going to give you, or there's not going to be eyes looking at you. There's not going to be a human there. But the beauty of CBT is you don't need a human to be there. It is a static method that helps you help yourself to understand how you think and to realize the negative patterns in your thinking. So that's why the AI therapy is not empathetic as a human therapist, for sure. But specifically for CBT, there is no deep empathy needed on the AI therapy side to for CBT to work. For CBT and for AI therapy, empathy is just the consistency and the understanding of the situation. So I guess the main vision to look at is like AI therapy is not a replacement for a therapist or is not replacing a real human therapist in somebody else's life. It is more like a self-help coach that can make CBT accessible for people who are not able to get the therapy, who are not able to afford it, or who aren't able to schedule it, or who are not able to reach because of some geographical problems.
Mm-hmm. Yes, like 100%. And do you see these trends as supplements or as entirely new paths for mental resilience?
I feel like it is both. Like it is actually it is growing in the both part, like as a supplement, because there are a lot of people also using it, using AI therapy or other AI resources or some computerized CBT methods while they are also going to therapy too. And therapists are also using computerized CBT methods on their clients too. So definitely AI therapy is a good supplement with therapy or with some other mental health or mindful uh, action, let's say, or exercise. But it can also be a standalone self help for uh, most of the people who need mental health support too. Of course, it's not going to be the good solution for somebody with deep trauma or somebody with suicidal thoughts. That's the important part. We can ever claim that AI therapy is going to be a solution for these things. But for mild anxiety, for day-to-day stress and for negative create breaking the negative thinking patterns, AI therapy is the perfect solution on that standalone product as a standalone product.
Yeah, and that distinction helps listeners understand that innovation doesn't replace human care, it expands the landscape of healing.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. And many people fear that AI may depersonalize their mental health. How do you ensure emotional intelligence and authenticity stay at the core of a technology?
I guess the one counterintuitive thing is there that we never want AI therapy to act like a human. So if AI therapy acts like a human, say things like, I feel sad, I feel something, then it becomes not very ethical because at the end of the day, you have to make sure that the person knows they're cooking with AI. And this is just a self help tool. So for the emotional intelligence part on the AI, specifically for AI therapy and CBT, for the cognitive behavioral therapy, we try to not push on that part too much. We try to put AI therapy, make AI therapy as a self help tool at the end of the day. It's a tool that a person with an emotional intelligence uses to understand themselves. So the emotional intelligence, one part can be something AI therapy can improve in the communication is the understanding. Like if you are talking with AI, you're aware that it is AI. The one very big thing is, does AI understand me? And that understanding has two branches. Like the one is the emotional one. Like, does it understand me emotionally? I am sad right now. Does the AI understand me that I am sad? Or the second one is more logical. Like, I am sad because I broke up with my girlfriend. And does AI understand that breaking up with a girlfriend is a sad thought? So, what AI can do best is AI can understand the logical part. Breaking up with a girlfriend is a sad thing. AI can acknowledge that this event is sad and the user is sad right now. But AI is not going to feel sad. So, it is not ethical for AI to show emotional intelligence in that part and pretend that it is feeling sad for him, like kind of like an empathy. And uh, it is, yeah, as I said, it's not ethical to show that. But on the logical part, if AI can show that it understands that the situation is sad, that is the uh, perfect example of how emotional intelligence, how the understanding can happen between AI and human. Like the human at the end of the day understands that AI understands what's happening, but also know that it's not a human and can't feel what I am telling it, but can ask me a question to help me find more answers, help me clear my mind.
Yes, totally. And have users ever shared feedback that shifted how you design or refine the platform?
Oh, of course, yeah. Like from the very first day, what we tried to do was the very first user was me. I was using AI therapy. It was just a project that I liked building it because I like instead of going reading a lot of books or trying to understand the exercises, I like that AI is able to tell me uh, and ask me the questions. And the second one was actually my roommate, and then some friends and family started to use it. So from these days, users always have different ideas, and some are very uh, human. Some are coming from the very human side, like they want AI to be more, let's say, caring, not caring, but they want to feel that AI cares about them, or some want more affirmation because they want to understand that what they told AI is actually being understood, and they are talking about something that they there's an understanding of that thought. So and also the third thing, I guess this is also one of the most important ones, is how easy it is going to be used. Because the when you start talking, when you decided to start talking, it is very hard to come up with the first sentences. It is very hard to come up with um, the first thing to write, first thing to say to AI. Because when AI asks you, like, how can I help you today? What is in your mind today? It is just for some people, there are a lot in their mind today. They don't know where to start. So one thing we are focusing on is uh, helping people to open up, even though they are able to talk right now with the AI. They don't know how to start. And the one thing we are doing, we are improving a lot with the user feedback, is the first messages that AI therapy asks, or the first questions that AI therapy asks, first messages that AI therapy send, and on the website and on the app, how easy it is to send the first questions, and if we should encourage people to um, open up, because it can be also not true, not right to encourage to the wrong ideas for users to talk about. But the very big thing we have been working, very big two things, is uh, showing that AI understands and asks the right questions, and helping people start talking and start telling what's in their mind.
Yeah. And it's powerful to hear how technology can evolve through real human stories rather than just data.
Mhm.
Yeah, and your mission emphasizes accessibility, making emotional support available regardless of privilege or circumstance. So, what barriers do you think AI is uniquely positioned to break?
The one very big thing is definitely price. Like, a lot of people are priced out of therapy or any kind of mental health support uh, in every country. It's not just in the United States. It's in probably every country. It is hard to get any kind of mental health support specific to therapy. So the price is definitely the one big thing. But also the second big thing that is not talked about a lot is stigma and the bias. I know that a lot of our users are using AI therapy not because they can afford a therapist, but they want to feel not judged. That doesn't mean therapists judge, but in humans' mind, it is very hard to tell another human being your problems, and this can be some political tension, some belief tension, some uh, religious tension. That if you think that your therapist is gonna judge you, it is very hard to open up. The very good thing about AI is you don't really care if AI is going to judge you, and AI is not going to judge you. So that that the second big thing is the bias that AI is breaking, and that helps the stigma too. So people who never went to therapy, who don't even think about going it, or who are looking, who are having a distance with the one idea of therapy, is more comfortable talking with an AI because it's easier and it doesn't have the bias of a human would have. And a lot of the therapists are probably very good at not showing the bias, but it's not finishing at the therapist doing their job. At the end of the day, humans, how the client feels like is the decision factor. And the third is accessibility. Like, I had that problem when I first looking for therapy, was like, let's say I can afford it. I can afford it and I already break that stigma. I want to go to a therapy, but it is very hard to fit that in your schedule too. Even it's like a one time in a week, it is very hard to fit that into your schedule. And it is very hard to know which day, because you can just go one day in a week, but you are living with your thoughts every day. So it is very hard to schedule that time. But with AI therapy, you can literally talk anytime from anywhere. And that is, maybe I said it as a third, but it's the biggest one for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And have you seen communities or individuals benefit in ways that traditional systems fail to reach?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the one very big community, or like the big, let's say, community that came to my mind is more rural people, like the people living in the rural areas, because it's very hard for them to find the local therapist. Even if there is one, it is very hard to not have a bias or stigma against it, because everybody knows everybody in a small town. I grew up in a small town, like I exactly know what that means, how that everybody knows everybody environment. And it would be very hard to go talk about your relationship problem with your neighbor as your therapist. And that is one big thing. Like from the small towns and rural communities, AI can be a very big enabler for them. And AI is already a very big enabler for them. Like I know that almost 35% of our user base is coming from the rural areas. And this is one thing. And I guess the second thing can be more, like, not specifically religious, but more close communities, because it is very hard to also get out of that community, not just locationally, not just physically, but also with your mind too. It's kind of like the social media part is like when you are living in a community 20 years ago, you don't, the only thing you know about the world is your community. But when social media came, you see other people on Instagram, you see other uh, lights on Instagram. So it gives you a way to open your world. It's the same thing with AI therapy too. So if you are in one community, let's say it's a very religious community, or it's a very non-religious community, but has some very strong ideas. And if your therapist is from the same community too, you think that there is going to be a bias. There's going to be a stigma in that. There's going to be a bias in that therapist too. But with AI, people can actually open their world from their community. I guess these two big things. One is the uh, geographically not able to reach therapy. People living in the rural areas, AI is giving them uh, the accessibility, and the second is more closed communities in terms of the living style. Let's say,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And those examples reveal how transformative these tools can be when they meet people exactly where they are.
yes, yes, that is a very big thing too, because like I know a lot of some of our customers, let's say not a lot of our customers, is also love that they don't have to get ready for the therapy session. They don't have to get ready to do that talking. They don't have to drive somewhere. They don't have to put on nice clothes or like these clothes to go and talk. That small thing can be a very big factor to start talking. Because if you're depressed, like if you are not feeling good, if you're not able to get up from the bed, it is very hard to convince yourself to drive 15 minutes and go sit in a therapy couch. But if you can do that from your phone and start to get better, it, that is a very big difference, a very big value.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 100%. So, Ali, thank you for bringing such clarity, compassion, and vision into today's dialogue. And for everyone listening, let this conversation remind you that emotional well being doesn't have to depend on timing, access, or circumstance, whether through human connection or intelligent tools designed with heart. Support is evolving, and it's becoming more reachable than ever. So, if today's insights resonated with you, take a moment to check in with yourself, question the old limits, and explore new avenues of care that might just change your life.